Hi all, so today I want to talk to you about how you actually break down your territory and what does that process look like. On GrubHub and Uber Eats, your whole city is your territory. You can go wherever you want, and as long as you're signed up on GrubHub for that area, then you can take orders anywhere in that city. Basically with Uber Eats, wherever you are, when you log on, if there's an order, they'll give it to you. It's really convenient with Uber Eats. DoorDash, on the other hand, they have different ways of breaking down a territory. In some cities, I am in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it's the second largest city in the state. And my territory is one huge circle. It's a big territory for DoorDash. There are, however, some other cities that are bigger, like Pittsburgh, where your driver Mike is from, and San Diego, and places like Chicago and New York and LA, the massive, huge cities. They being DoorDash, will break down that city into segments, and basically they'll have a concentrated area for somebody to dash in. So if you go outside of that area, like if you have a delivery that's dropping off outside of that specific area, then you either have to drive back to that area, or you have to get off of DoorDash off of your dash and then log on to the dash that's in the area that you're in. So DoorDash works a little different than the other two, but I want to talk to you today about how you should break down your territory, your market, so that you can find the best places to find orders and to make money. There's a few different things that you need to take into consideration, especially when you're starting out and you don't know anything about your marketplace yet. So if you take some of these guidelines and apply them, you'll be able to find the best spots in your marketplace to be able to find those orders. One thing I want to talk about is hotspots, and each of these apps kind of guide you and show you where the hotspots are in your marketplace, so that they will get the right number of drivers in that area to cover all of the orders that are coming in. One thing about hotspots, though, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make the most money when you go there. That just means they have the most requests coming in for that particular hotspot for orders. It could be, especially on DoorDash in my territory, the hotspots that they provide me, there are a ton of orders that come through for those particular hotspots. There is a lot of orders, and you can keep busy dashing. The problem is that a lot of those orders are going to be $3 or $4 or $5 orders. And if you remember when I talked about picking the right order some videos back, I said that if you want to make the $25 to $30 an hour, you really have to pick the right orders to be able to get you there. Regardless of how short the distance is, you're going to be able to only take 3 to 4 hours or 3 to 4 deliveries in 1 hour. So you got to think about it. In 1 hour, if you are taking, let's say, 4 $3 orders, that means that you're only making $12 for that hour. If you want to get up to that, 25 to 30, you got to set your sights on $8 above, because $6 above, because 6 times 4 is 24, and then 7 times 4 is 28, and then 8 times 4 is 32. So, you got to really pick those orders the right way to make the most money while you're out there. So I want to dive into a little bit about how you break down a territory so that you can find the best orders for you. So I want to start by talking about my marketplace. And again, it's Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's a big marketplace that I can go anywhere in. And you might be in a similar one. The biggest thing that I looked for when I was deciding on where my hotspots were number one, where are the restaurants? if you look at my marketplace, the key spots for the restaurants in my town are going to be in 4 different areas. On the very north side of town, there are a lot of restaurants. This is because there is a huge hospital on one particular road, and there are a lot of the people that work at that hospital live in that area, so it's kind of a more affluent area of town, and there's a lot of restaurants on basically 2 roads that really cater to these types of customers. So I live 10 minutes north of town, so I always start there. That is my first spot I go to, because I know that on good days I will get a lot of good orders and I will make a lot of money. So about 3 to 4 miles south of this road is another major road, and if you look at this road, it is a road that has the mall on it and a lot of shopping on it, so there's a lot of fast food and quick grab places that you can get lunch and dinner from, and there's a lot of neighborhoods in this area too because it's close to the mall. There's also a lot of apartment complexes, so that area I can go down there and I can grab orders often. I can get orders a lot just by going down to the second hotspot that I've defined. The one thing I will say is that in this particular hotspot, there are a lot of lowball orders from DoorDash, so I have to decline a lot of orders before I get one that I really want. It usually doesn't take too long. However, sometimes I will sit there for 5 minutes before I'll get that order that I really, really want to take. That's going to be in that $8 range, and it's going to be 4 miles or less. So I really have to scrutinize what they send me there. If you go about 4 miles south of there, there's another great place, and it has a variety of restaurants, and you can get high-end stuff, middle stuff, and low-end stuff when it comes to food. This is because this is the downtown area. I really avoid downtown during rush hour because I will make very little money if I'm trying to fight all that traffic getting a delivery from the restaurant to the customer. So I don't go there unless it's a non-rush hour period. But there's a lot of apartment buildings, there's a lot of restaurants in that area, and there are some neighborhoods on the outlying areas off of downtown, so I can usually do pretty good there when it's not a rush hour scenario. The fourth place, and I literally have been down there just a couple of times because I always find orders between my first 3 hot spots before I have to go to the 4th. But the 4th spot is another large road, and it's on the very south end of town, and it's probably about 4 or 5 miles south of downtown. So you can imagine from the north side of town to the south side of town, that's a good 15-20 miles, so I try not to drive that far if I can avoid it. But this area is a really good area also, and if I lived south of town, I'd probably start there. And this is another place that has the second largest hospital in the city, and a lot of more affluent neighborhoods down there too because of that hospital. There are a few fast food restaurants down there, but there's also some mid-range and high-end stuff too, so you can usually do pretty good down there too. So when I first started, I didn't know any of this, and I basically went to the hot spots that were suggested on the apps, and as I started taking orders and I started getting new orders from these other areas, and I learned where the good spots were to be and the good restaurants that were going to get me the orders that would give me the money that I need, then I really picked my own hot spots, and you really need to do that too. So when it comes to breaking down your marketplace, you really want to look for concentrated areas of restaurants, but you also want to look at the living around those concentrated areas of restaurants. Apartment complexes, colleges, and Hotels are really good because you get a lot of orders from them. So if you can find restaurants around the colleges and the hotels and the apartment complexes, you'll do pretty good for yourself. Another thing that you can look at too is where are the high-end restaurants at. The high-end restaurants, affluent people, they will generally, and I said in another video, don't ever decide who's going to give you a tip based on where they live, because you get some really, really good tips from the lower end of town too. But affluent people will typically give you a tip, and a lot of times they'll give you a higher tip than you would get in other areas. So make sure that you look at affluent areas of your town to see where the neighborhoods correspond with the restaurants that serves that part of the community. Another great place is malls. Malls typically have a lot of restaurants around them, and the people that live in the neighborhoods in those areas will order from the restaurants around the malls. So that is another good area for you to try out and see if that's a good fit for your marketplace. Finally, downtown, although I don't go in downtown during rush hour, downtown is a phenomenal area when it is non-rush hour, because people are ordering from those restaurants that they see every day living and working in that area. So look at your downtown area, and if it's big enough and it has the right amount of restaurants, you can make a lot of money if you work in the downtown area. There's always going to be, in bigger cities, there's apartment buildings in downtown, and a lot of those people will order DoorDash or Uber Eats or GrubHub, and you'll make a lot of money down there. So please make sure that you take a look at your city and determine where the good hot spots are for your area. Another thing that you want to keep in mind too when you're finding hotspots is you want to find hotspots that are hotspots for more than one app. In other words, you want to find places that you get good orders from DoorDash, you get good orders from Uber Eats, and you get good orders from GrubHub. If you can find that trifecta, then you will go to that hotspot and you will always have orders sent to you. And then what you can do is, once you figure out what the top app is for your marketplace, then you can rely on that app in that area. And if something doesn't come in when you go out on that particular app, you've got a backup app that you know in that area also does well. So make sure that you're taking a look at the places in your town where you can get orders from multiple apps. And that doesn't necessarily mean the same restaurants, because there's places in my area where one app I'll get a lot of orders from one particular restaurant, and then there's another restaurant that sends a lot of orders for a different app. So, but if you can find those sweet spots, then you'll know where to go to get the orders that you want for your shift, and you'll be able to make a lot more money if you do that. So make sure that you find those hot spots where you can use more than one app, and it'll help you make a lot more money. So I hope that you learned a lot from this today, and it's a very important topic. You have to go out there and you have to break down your marketplace so that you know where to go to get the orders that you need to make the money that you want. This also will help you if you define your own hotspots. It'll also help you keep more busy and have less downtime, which I've talked about in another video too. If you have less downtime, that means that you're making more money too. So you want to maximize the dollars that you make. You want to maximize the number of orders that you can get. You want to maximize the least amount of miles that you have to drive to make those deliveries. And if you find the right hot spots in your town, you will be able to do that with no problem. So I wish the best of luck to you. If you have any questions on your marketplace, throw a comment down below. I also would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I get, then the more noticed I am, so I can help other people. And also like my videos, because the more likes I get, the more I'll get noticed on YouTube, and others can see me too. If you know anyone that can use this advice, that might need some help doing dashing, feel free to share the video with them too. So have a great day. Thanks.